my very first admins. She was my oldest admin. I'm trying to think. She was literally in the first group that I had of staff. She was amazing and everyone loved her. She was super funny, and she'd do anything for anyone. Like, she was the sweetest person. And her and I've been on plenty of road trips, and, you know, hosting in other places together, just filled with memories. At the end of COVID, she got it, and she didn't make it. We were on video with her. She called me the morning that they were taking her in and gonna vent her, and she wanted to tell me that she loved me, and I knew. I was sobbing hysterically because the day before she was okay. She was fine. Not fine, she had COVID, but she wasn't on her deathbed. And the next thing we know, she's calling me, and I know she called Cassandra too, intubated, and she just wanted to tell us that she loved us, and she knew she wasn't going to make it. She told us that. It was probably one of the worst times of my life. She was very special to us. I knew I was gonna cry. I can't. So, they videoed us from the hospital before they took her off life support. Me and Cassandra and Sheila, and I'm not sure if Marlene was there or not. If she wasn't, she was on her way. We were just, it's like midnight, all sitting at my kitchen table, just a sobbing mess because we had no idea what was going on. We couldn't go see her because of COVID. We didn't want her to be alone, and her aunt was with her. It was just, it was nightmarish. She had a 13-year-old at the time. We were sad for so many reasons. If there was anybody on the planet that did not deserve to go, it was her. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. She had a huge heart. She would literally help anyone. She always was doing a fundraiser for kids, collecting backpacks, doing school supplies. So many times, Renee, we need to do this fundraiser because these kids need this. Okay. And she would just spearhead it and do it all. She was everybody's advocate. And she was everybody's friend. And her presence is so missed. Everybody still talks about it. Holly does a wonderful job at registration, but Shelly was the queen. She had a way about her that would just put you at ease, and she always made you laugh. So then we got word that she passed, and all of us were zombies for months. We planned a huge memorial celebration for her because that's what she wanted, and it was beautiful. We all went and got this tattoo. Me, Sheila, Cassandra, and Marlene. That was our first one. And it's been rough. It's still rough. I still cry. Her pictures are all...
Honestly, Jelly and I started out a little rough. But again, I was very new. And what's the word, Renee? They used to call me all the time when I first came in, and I had no clue what y'all was talking about half the time. Oh, my life. I don't know. Anyway.
Fresh out the box?
Something. I don't know. I didn't know how to take Angelica at first, but we quickly, after, it wasn't too long, it really wasn't, became besties. Constantly chit-chatting. She was constantly trying to get me with dudes. So, yeah, I just love that woman. I miss her dearly, dearly. I don't like doing road trips. It's my road dog in the back, sleeping, singing. She would let me sing. Renee don't let me sing. She would let me sing.
So, like, we all are kind of very familiar with, like, everything that happened leading up to her passing. Like, what was going through your mind at that time?
I was very angry. She hid a lot of stuff from us because she didn't want us to worry. So I felt like and I know in her heart that she was doing it because she loves us. She didn't want us to worry, but she took that from us. She letting us care for her. She took that from us because we should have been there.
And so, what are some of the things that you do to kind of help her memory live on for you, as well as a part of the group?
I participate very well in the pink party for hers. I would love to call it the pink nipple party still, but okay, fine, the pink party. I have a jelly corner in my house. It has the centerpiece that they made for her funeral. It's still there. Her cups are there. I actually have my bands that the parties that she was with me are there. Her pictures. I walk by, I cuss her out every day. Every day. And then I'll bless her every day. Yeah, I don't know.
I went to was a homecoming party. It was close to, I think, like the very first, it was after the very first Unity. She was one of the first people. She was like, honey, you thicker than a Snicker. And she kind of like took me under her wing. And then after that, I think we was pretty much separable. She became family, her sisters, her son, all of that. It was just, she was my person.
And how strong and tight was the bond that you had with her?
It was one of those bonds that couldn't be broken. We had our times, we had our ups and our downs, but it was something that no matter what came in between or whatever, it wasn't anything that could ever be broken by anything that was put in our way.
And you were saying that you all were like family and whatnot. Like, talk a little bit about that family bond that you had with them.
We used to do stuff with the kids together, like when the kids were younger. It's amazing to me, like how long I've known her, thinking about some of the things that we did. Like we went to the circus and we took her son and I took Desire, and you know they rode the elephants, and we were always taking road trips. She was always there. The last trip that we took right before she passed, me and her sister Anna and Caitlin, we all rode to Atlanta together for the party. She was my road dog. It's like a piece of me that's missing.
What's one of your most favorite memories about Angelica?
You can't have just one favorite memory about Angelica. There's not like one single specific thing. Angelica just always had a smart ass remark. She always just something out of the blue that would just be like, what the hell? Where did that come from? Like, where does this even begin to gather in your brain and come out of your lips? Like, where is it? And it's just like, whoa. So I can't specifically say that there was just like one specific memory that I had with her, because there was so many. I mean, like, it was almost over a period of like 8 years, so there's many different things that you could think about and just make you smile and make you laugh and then make you cry at the same time.
Now, being that it's been 2 years, what are some of the things that you think about when it comes to her? You know, now that she's not here. What are the things that you wish that she could see now, or things that you know that she's seeing and kind of projecting from the hereafter and looking out for you? Like,
I think the biggest thing for me is just like all the things that she's missing with her son, because her son was her world. And then the fact that her son is here without his mother, growing and doing all these things, and how he's making it through each day. I know how I struggle without her being here, and I can't begin to fathom. And I just hope that she sees that I still try to be there. I can't ever take her place to her son, but that I try to be there and as much as I can for him.
if you were watching this right now, what would you say to her?
I just miss you so much, and I love you, and I just thank you. You don't know how much you did for me. You were my biggest cheerleader. You accepted me with all my flaws. You embraced everything about me. You encouraged me every step of the way to step out of my comfort zone a little bit more and more. And the person that I'm becoming and how I'm loving myself is a big attribute to you. And I hope that I can make you proud, not just for me, but for everything that I'm trying to do and try to be there for you.
So I met Angelica I'd been to 2 Toledo parties before my very first Unity Bash, and so I had noticed her, but we had never spoke. And then at Unity, one of the other groups hosted an after party and had like tons of food. I don't even remember who it was. It's not important. Yeah, they're completely irrelevant, whatever. Angelica never left the registration table. And I was like, oh my gosh, this poor girl hasn't moved. Like, let me feed this girl. So I'm like, baby, what kind of food do you want? Let me go make you a plate. So she was like, oh, thank you so much. She's like, and then I'm over there, she's like, don't forget the caramel popcorn. I got you. And I thought we were fine. And then after that, we had Cassandra as a mutual friend, and Angelica was being real cold to me, and months had went by and I didn't understand what had happened, and Cassandra brought it to my attention, what Angelica had said to her, and it basically boiled down to we had a misunderstanding, and something that I had done, she kind of misread it, and then after that, Cassandra kind of smoothed the way back for us. And at Bash, when she was at registration, I was constantly checking on her. Do you need anything? Are you hungry? Do you need something to drink? You need a 5-minute break to walk away? And that was probably one of the harder things, the very first Bash after she passed away. I told Holly, I was like, I'm so sorry. I just feel the need to check on you because that's what I did with Angelica to make sure that she was okay. Because, doing registration can definitely be overwhelming at times. Like Cassandra had mentioned, right before she passed away, a little over a month before she passed away, we were headed down to Atlanta. And we were getting ready to leave Toledo, and it was probably And she's like, girl, no. I'm not sitting in the front of the seat with Cassandra. And I was like, okay. And she's sleeping in the bag. And we're probably, I don't know, Tennessee area. It's raining. We're driving in the mountains. And Cassandra is getting it. Like, she's whipping a nay-nay and all through it. Like, skirt, meet me, get out the way. I'm terrified because it's raining. Like, you can't see nothing. And Angelica goes, are we safe and still driving? Yes, girl, we're good. I was like, but I'm gonna close my eyes too. And then further down the road, like, I must have dozed off. Cassandra's singing to herself. I think it was Doja Cat. And Angelica goes, oh my God, she's up there singing to herself. We must be doing 90. And I was like, yeah, you're about right. And so I started laughing, and Angelica just sits up and she's just reaching between the seats, just like jabbing me. Are you laughing at me? Why are you laughing? And she's just like poking me in the ribs, which make me laugh more. And by the time it was over with, like, I was on the dashboard laughing so hard, and Cassandra's laughing and trying to drive, and it just, like, it was stupid at the time. Like, we were laughing at literally nothing, but now to think back, it was.
But when I first joined the BBW group through Cassandra, Angelica was one of the first admins that I talked to, and when I first said her name, I messed it up immensely. And she gave me a hard time about it, but she just let it go, and we had a running joke about it over the years. It almost made us form like a bond between each other because of that mishap. She wasn't one to let a mistake, decide what she felt about somebody, and she always made her own mind up of what she thought of others. She didn't allow others' opinions to make her decide if she liked someone or not. Angelica was the type of person, she helped the community. Her main job was helping people that have less. She would go around at lunchtime and go to the parks in the summer and make sure the kids had lunch meals. And if she didn't give them all out, she would call everybody she knows, like, hey, you got kids, I got this extra food, come and get it. She always made sure everybody was okay with what she had, with the means that she had. She never kept anything more than what she needed. And that says a lot about somebody. She was always laughing, joking, It's just like Cassandra said, you never knew what she was.
When I was filming that like this, and it hit me kind of hard because Jelly and I had like this big brother little sister relationship, love-hate type thing, but nobody really knew about it but us type thing. And when I had first moved to Toledo and had fallen upon some difficult shit that happened, she was right there for me. And so it was, when she passed, it really did affect me. And so I was filming Ink by Chris at that time, and it just so happened that Renee and the Toledo BBW staff, they knew Chris. And they happened to be on one of the episodes of Ink by Chris where they were actually getting the Angelica or the Jelly tattoo on their arm. That, for me, at the time, as a starting producer for reality films, it just kind of like, it hit close to home because that whole entire year as I was filming, Angelica passed away, and then like maybe a week later my ex-wife passed away. So while I was filming all of that, I had to halt a lot of production and everything, and just kind of stopped and had to take a step back from everything that was going on. But it also made me realize that this was something that I needed to do and tell people the story. And for them to have been a part of someone else's story that I was telling. And now, a year and a half, 2 years later, we're telling their story. It just all came around full circle. Shit is like phenomenal to me. I was in between jobs and transitioning, and it was coming time for my registration for my plates because I had to get Ohio plates, and it was time for that to get done. And at the moment, I had just paid some other bills, and I was like, shit, I forgot this. And I can't remember how it happened, but somehow she reached out to me and was like, hey, you still need to get your registration. I was like, yeah. And she was like, I remember her saying something to the effect of, check your PayPal. And the money was like there. And I wasn't even expecting it. And it just, so I went, took care of it, and I immediately said, I'm gonna pay back, I'll make sure you pay back, I'm gonna pay back. And it was just like, she was like, I'm not worried about that. So I did pay her back, but it just, it spoke volumes about her and her character, because I already knew what people were saying about her, as she was like very kind and sweet, and we had built a really good relationship, like giggling and laughing when we got together at the parties and events and whatnot. But for her to do something like that, and she didn't really know me all that well, that was a really fine thing. But life always comes full circle, because I had a chance to actually look out for the cookout, so to speak, when we were in Columbus for an event with another group. And it was me and Angelica and Cassandra and a couple other people, and we were out at a restaurant and we were eating, and there were these, I was there, Fazoli's. It was Fazoli's, you're right, we were eating at Fazoli's. So, and Renee was there. It was like all of us, because we were actually going for a Columbus event for that BBW group there. And so we went, and as we're sitting there, like, I noticed that these AAU girls basketball team and their parents, and it's still in my Facebook memories, and I keep sharing it too, so yeah. But they walked in and they sat down, and the team, not the parents, but the team, these young ladies, they just kept looking over at us. And I'm like, I mean, what, do we have like boogers on our face or something? Like, what the fuck are y'all looking at? So nobody else is paying any that much of attention, but I'm like, I felt the vibe. So as I kept paying attention to the young ladies, I noticed that they were actually going forth toward Angelica. And this was in the times when I was a little bit more of a hothead. And not only did I verbally say something to them in the restaurant, I picked up my phone and went live on Facebook, and I pretty much, I told the truth, so I didn't slander anybody, but I dogged their asses, because how dare you? Fuck. Like, nobody that I'm sitting with that you're talking about is going to, nobody I was sitting with was going to allow that, and I'm just glad that I caught it first before they did. Let's just say that. But I caught it, and I didn't like it. And so I made an example out of them and their parents, and I meant that. Because that's how much, all of those people that were there, that's how much they meant to me, especially Angelica. I knew that they were going at Angelica, and it meant a lot to me. And I'll be goddamned if anybody was going to sit there and talk about her in front of me and me not say anything, and did. Now, the reaction I got was from the kids, and the parents were like, and to the parents too, I was like, if you raised your chaps better, you wouldn't have to deal with situations like this. But I'm here, what's up? Nobody said anything though. Like, that's just how that was with anybody, but with Jelly especially. Like, nah, you didn't do that. I didn't do that. And I like how she used to let me give her lap dances all the time too. She used to let me give a lap dance every time we was at a party. I was like, oh, let me get a lap dance. Go over there, pop, pop, pop. You know, that's just kind of a relationship we had, you know. Yeah. Tell me about your favorite memory about Angelica.
I have a ton. Angelica's hilarious. Top two, Naughty or Nice 2018, 19, somewhere in there. In the after party, they had this dick game, ring toss dick, and she put it on her forehead. I just found the video the other day, and people threw rings on her head, and she was doing this with the dick. It was freaking hilarious. She was a riot. She made that whole night just hilarious.
I have this whole vision. Everybody close their ears.
You missed that big dick big time.
Right? Jelly, careful. Somebody's going to climb up there on your face.
Oh, well, you ain't sticking to her head. She got a lick with it.
She ain't ready.
Okay, ready?
She ain't ready.
It was loud for her.
Okay, ready?
Oh! So y'all put a little bit more oomph in.
Wait, is Jack jelly or is it Megan?
That's Megan.
See, that somebody really is God, Lexi. I love
Very good game. I like this.
somebody really is going to climb on her. You are awesome if that's Megan. But they got to have fake nipples.
You're ready.
They only like fake nipples.
Oh!
Pegging. And with all of us in our innocent alley. It was like, what's pegging? And Angelica's like, hold on, I'll show you. And then as she goes to give her the screen, David's like, no, that's porn. It was so funny. Holly has still not stopped talking about it, but she did look it up. She knows what it is now. So General was also with me from almost the inception. He came shortly after Angelica. He was a huge part of our group. Everybody knew him. He was very friendly and lots of fun. He was warm and welcoming. I always sicked him on new people because he was the best to make them feel comfortable in an environment where they feel like everybody knows each other, and that's not even really the case. It's everybody's been coming to parties, and that's how they get to know each other. So he was great with that, and he was a character. He was always in a tutu or a costume or something crazy just to make people laugh and smile, and it was always something outrageous. At our bashes, he would go through the clothing swap and find the craziest things and put them on and walk around bash. The most famous one is he grabbed somebody's wedding dress out of the clothing swap and walked around the whole bash with it on, and it is hilarious. The pictures are hilarious. Unfortunately, he lost his battle with his own personal demons, and we lost him not even a year after we lost Angelica. Am I lying? Was it a year? Okay. Okay.
It wasn't even a year, because,
Okay.
let's see. No, she passed, like, what, that September?
Yeah, I don't think it was a year.
And he passed in June. Yeah, no.
Okay. So I got a phone call that he was no longer with us, like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I had to tell everybody, and it was awful. Absolutely awful. The way in which he passed was soul crushing. I still struggle with it. A lot of us do. A lot of us talked to him the day before. He was one of my closer friends, and that, just like Angelica, that it hurt. And I have a shrine in my house to my passed away people. It's sad. Me and Sheila went and got General because he always wore tutus. Our tattoo artist come up with this design with a little tutu on it. So we put him by Jelly. That's been rough. It's still rough. His presence is very noticed. The lack of his presence is very noticed. Everybody talks about it. We do the duck thing for General, and we do the pink party for Angelica every Naughty or Nice Friday party. That's been rough. And then me trying to grieve on my own, and then trying to help people work through their grief while planning a party for his memorial celebration. It was rough. I was toast. I wasn't mentally anywhere there. His funeral was awful. I sobbed out the whole time. I could not handle it. There's no words. Looking at his kids, there's no words for that. It was terrible. Just like Angelica's. It was.
Even though it was a family, like you always have that sibling that you're a little bit closer to. And he really was like a little brother to me. And he was also a protector. He would be the first one that I would see at the party, and he'd have to hug me so hard that he would pick me up and crack my back. There's not a lot of people that I trust to pick me up, and he was one of them. He made everybody feel included, and I can't tell you the number of people that reached out to me from other groups, other states, places that he had traveled to, and they met him, and they would all say the same thing. He was so friendly. He didn't want anybody to be alone. He would reach out to anybody, always included people, invited them to dance, invite them to the pool party, everything. And that's genuinely who he was, is that he wanted people to feel included and to feel like they had somebody they could hang out with, they could dance with, they could be in the pool with, whatever it was. And he really was just a unique and special soul. And I am not ever going to think of tutus the same way. And now I own several of them, and I'm always tempted to bring one for every party or event just in case I get inspired, because he always had a tutu to wear with every theme, no matter what the theme was. And he always made us feel like you can laugh at yourself.
General. General, I think, to everybody was life. He made sure everybody had a good time. You weren't allowed to be in a bad mood around General. It just didn't happen. Whether you were or not, he would quickly change that. He brought me out of my shell quite a bit. He's a flirt. So, and he would know, like, with my situation, he knew a lot. And I feel that he would sense what I needed, so he would flirt with me to bring me, okay, I'm good now, thanks, go. And I really don't want to talk about that, Jerome. That leading up to that last day.
But you don't want to talk about the actual conversation. You don't have to. We can skip over that. You can just kind of say I talked to him, and then you can say, and then the next day you can just skip the conversation. You can just say you talked to him, and then you can just tell me how you feel.
Okay, good. So I had seen him. He posted something on Facebook. So I inboxed him and I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Can you call me?" And I was actually on the phone with Renee. And I hung up with Renee, and I called General. And I talked to him for probably a good hour. And 8 hours later, I find out that he killed himself. that was very, for me, I don't like to talk about, like, or I don't feel like I should feel that I did wrong, from saying some of the things that I did say to him, but I felt I could have done more. Like, I didn't do enough because he did something. I totally had no clue that was in his brain. None.
So
None.
So has it been hard for you to kind of like?
I wouldn't have hung up that phone if I would have thought.
So it's been kind of hard for you to just kind of relinquish getting blame from that.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. He was not suicidal when I spoke to him. There is no way. He was pissed. He was an angry man. But when I talked to him, he had his baby in his arm. He was tough.
going forward, like what are you gonna do to kind of keep this moving alive, especially if you get that bond that you guys had? So what are you gonna do?
I'm trying to cuss him out daily too. Yep, and I have my forever memories right there. I have his big picture in my jelly corner. I don't want to add anybody else's picture there. So they're there. I have my poop hat.
Okay, I'll probably cut this off, but I'm just asking, did he ever call you shithead?
He has, yes.
I swear on everything I love, Sheila, when you said something about the poop hat, shithead popped into my mind. It was like I heard someone say, hey shithead.
Yeah.
I swear I think he just...
He just told you.
Wow. Fucking free, I swear to God, like, I'm about to lose it. Like, yo, like for real, like you said that shit and I heard someone say, hey shithead, pop into my head, and that's why I wanted to ask you, has he ever called you?
Yes. Yes, he did. You know, they both should be here. They should be sitting here doing this with you as well. So, it's very hard.
General and we became kind of close. He was a good guy. I would call him and ask him questions about dudes, like, why do men do this? And he would talk to me and he would help me, and I would feel better afterwards. He was able to connect to people on different levels. Everyone knew him for a different reason. It was pretty cool.
The very first Toledo party that I went to was the luau party when we still partied at Encore, and I walk in and I see General walking around in this blue tutu, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, what did I get myself into? And then, you know, like, introduced myself to Renee, and General, you know, kept circling the bar, you know. Afterwards they're posting the stuff in the group pictures, and I'm like, okay, that's who that was. And then I found out he wore tutus all the time, just for the shock factor to people. General was just definitely one of them people that definitely made you feel good about yourself. And like when we do the clothing swaps at Bash, if they weren't getting enough attention, General would go in there and pick out outfits and walk around the hotel. Who wants this outfit? You like my outfit? Just like modeling things just to get people's attention. We have numerous pictures of him in dresses and everything. He put on Amy Sipes was a wedding dress, and paraded around the entire hotel, and it was probably one of the funniest things ever.
Okay, and type of relationship did you have with them?
We definitely had a close relationship. Like, it didn't have to be bash or a monthly party, you know. Like, if I was up in Toledo, I'd, you know, hey, how are you and the kids doing? I'm up here. And he just, you know, would always reach out and check out on people, you know, if you know, hey, I haven't seen you, or you haven't posted in the group, are you doing okay, or how's your day going, or he cared about his people, and that's kind of what made him such a great person.
That was my dance buddy, flat out. Anytime we saw each other, what's up, let's go. Nah, little bitch, come on, we gonna do this. I chased him everywhere in that bar, and every time he was just standing there. I remember one time he was standing there with Renee, and he was just talking to her. And I literally just walked casually on up and stood there and stared at him. And he immediately started laughing and he went the other direction. But that's the type of relationship that he and I had. Like, every time we saw each other, it was dance down, let's go. Even though it wasn't anything serious, it was just like our thing. So, I don't know, to see him in May and to have that, like, fun banter, and then that very next month, it was tough. I think about it a lot. And something that really triggered my thought process the other day on this was that I don't understand how people can take someone else's demise and then turn around and use it to express something that's not even really fucking true. Like, that shit makes no sense to me. Like, you have to be a low, sewer, gutter rat, bottom of the barrel type ass bitch to do some shit like that. And what you did was bottom of the barrel. I'm not gonna put your name out here because I'm not gonna give you any shine. Not my way. But just know what you did was really fucked up. And I said it in black and white on the book. I've said it to my friends and everybody that knows. I'm gonna say it to you again. Wasn't for me. Instead, use that shit.
Again, there's so many. He was funny too. All the outfits, the costumes. Like, when he first started, they were real mild. And as the years went on and more confident he got, just, you never knew what the hell he was gonna walk in. Some tutu, something lit up. He came with a rock and roll wig on once. Like, always had something crazy. He was my favorite for new people at our regular parties because he was so good at going to sit with them, pulling them out on the dance floor, just making them feel welcome. And people just aren't used to guys doing that, and it makes a difference, I think. And I really miss that at our parties now, because I don't really have because I would just be like, hey, every new person I would take right to general. But we don't. I mean, everyone else is good, but no one was general with it. One time he pulled up to my house unannounced. I was going through some stuff, and he knocks on my door, scared the shit out of me and my kid. And he had flowers and pop and all these goodies and stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I love you and you don't feel well. Here you go. Hugs me and he leaves. And then he calls me and he's like, you think I'm an asshole, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, I do. But thank you. I mean, he did stuff like that a lot. Lots of memories. The wedding dress that Caitlin mentioned. I think everyone has a picture of him in that wedding dress. And he did every clothing swap, always put something on.
About your relationship with Aaron, because this one is very sudden.
So I met Aaron at a party in Cleveland. Barb introduced me to her and said, hey, I want you to meet somebody. She really needs you. She needs your group. And she'll drive up here and come to parties. And I was like, okay. So she introduced me, and Erin was hilarious. Like, she was very quick-witted, and she had a perverted sense of humor like me. So we hit it off immediately. And she's just the sweetest. She started really struggling with her body image at first, but she learned over the years. Like, when she first started, she wouldn't wear tight stuff or revealing things, and look at the pictures. Is it progress? Just in 2 pieces, don't care, without a care in the world. So that was awesome. Awesome transformation. Like the other girl said, she had a heart of gold. She would do absolutely anything for you. I went through a pretty awful breakup, and she checked on me every day, even though she was always going through her own stuff. She checked on me every day. She sent me flowers. She sent me cards just to know that I was there. She like counseled me through that, because that was rough. I mean, I had a few people helping me, but she was there every day, making sure I was good, even if it was nothing other than, what can I do for you? Thank you. This one's a little harder to do because it's fresh. What was I talking about? Anybody remember?
Hey, talking about that she was there for you. When
the breakup. Yeah, so she was that friend every morning, and always would make me laugh. That was her way to get me out of my whatever funk was going on, because that was rough. And then we went on vacation together a couple years back, and I have some videos of Holly and Aaron both singing drunkenly, hilarious. We just had a great time. She's such a kind spirit and hilarious that I can't say that enough. She was always had a smart ass comeback. If somebody said something flipped to her, she immediately had something to say. She was great. The 50th birthday that Caitlin talked about, she talked about that forever. That meant so much to her. for people to just do something like that. And honestly, it wasn't that much. We got decorations and a cake and, you know, just made a big deal out of her. She had not had that done before like that, and she was so appreciative of that day. It was one of the last ones she was at. She had just started rehabbing at the moment, and they let her come, and that was the best. I'm really glad we got to do that for her. Holly in general were a big part of that too. Her in general had a really strong bond. They talked to each other every day. General and I went down there. Made it really hard going down there to see her the last time. General and I went down there twice. Once for her birthday, a different year when she wasn't mobile. We just had a riot. The girl's crazy. She just cried and cried and cried because we surprised her. And we just had so many goofy memories. And then we went down for her grandmother's funeral. The appreciation that she had for that, just that little bit of people showing their love to her. She didn't realize the impact she had on people either. And even throughout her whole sickness, when she couldn't be here with us, she still kept up. She posted on Saturdays. She still did it every Saturday for me. And one time she said, I just feel so useless because I can't be up there helping you. And I'm like, girl, you take care of the group on Saturday for us. That's a big deal. It is. And she was just always wanting to do more and felt like she wasn't doing enough. And I would give her a little admin jobs here and there too, and that made her feel better. But she loved Toledo BBW. Like, had every shirt I've ever had made, everything. She was a rider for sure. You'll see in a lot of the pictures she had our stuff on. She loved the Stronger Together logo. I remember her showing it to her grandma, her other grandma at the funeral. I'm like, she was just a riot. She did not give a shit either. She didn't care. That's just who she was. And then this last time when she got out, she came home from the nursing home, and I made a trip down there to see her. Thank God. And the text message that I got on the way home was, oh, Renee, you blew the life back into me. I'm back. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Blah, 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 blah. I'm starting this program. It's going to be great. I'm shooting for Unity 24. I'm going to be there. And it wasn't 2 weeks later, she was gone. And I got a call from her daughter at work. It was weird. I absolutely could not believe it. Like, it could have knocked me over with a feather. I just seen her. I got to see her new grandbaby. Her daughter was her world. All her kids were, but Chelsea and her were really close, and she just had a new grandbaby. And she was only 4 months old. She barely got to spend hardly any time. She was so excited to be a grandma. Watch her grow up and do all the fun stuff we get to do with our grandbabies. And I hate that she's gonna miss it. And I feel awful for Chelsea. She's been to every party with Aaron. They were besties for real, but no, one of the things that she shared with me, she said, I don't have anybody to go to for motherly advice anymore. She was my everything. She was my go-to for everything. And I get it. But I told her that we're all here. And she's got a bunch of new aunties for that baby. That was rough, and I can tell you that losing 3 fantastic people in 3 years is a lot. It's so much on so many shoulders. People that you loved. I don't put people on my staff that I don't like. I put them, you know, everybody has a place. Everybody has something they do and they bring to the table. And these people become your family. And losing them all back to back has been nightmarish, and not just for me, for everyone. Everybody loved these people. It definitely hit pretty hard. This one was, I mean, they were all rough, but they just get rougher. We shouldn't be burying people younger than us. Erin was older, but the other 2 were not. We shouldn't have buried her either. She just got home. She was supposed to be getting better. And that was our goal. I'll tell you a funny story now. I'm done crying. When I was down there this last time, we're sitting there and I'm holding baby, and I was like, Erin, what did you miss the most while you were gone? That's my girl. Because she said, girl, dick. Serious as hell.
She was gonna say
I was crying. Because it wasn't just me in the room. Her kids were there too. It was hilarious. I was like, that is definitely...
Erin, she is also another kind soul. It seems like Renee knows who to put on her staff because they're just kind people. She did the best she could too, and even when she was not able to get to us, she still was a part of all of us. She made herself present, she made herself known. And we're gonna do with what?
Angelica's Memorial.
Angelica's Memorial.
She was. She came to Angelica's Memorial when it was important. She found a way. She's an amazing mother. Her daughter was her favorite person, as most mothers choose their kids over everything else. I'm just not one of them moms. No, I'm just kidding. She was a very, very nice person. I enjoyed her company when we were around each other.
Erin, God, she had the biggest heart, and she was in the room next to mine. I think it was like my second Unity, and poor Chelsea is just carting everything back and forth, and I'm like, girl, do you need help carrying all this stuff? And she's like, nah, I like doing this stuff for my mom. That's my best friend, you know. And her and Chelsea were just always together. And Erin was, she just cared about everybody. And you'd randomly get cards in the mail from her, you know, like, hey, I'm thinking about you, or the text messages, you know, I saw this and thought of you, and how are you doing? Or, you know, like if my little ones were sick, she'd always reach out, and she just really cared. Like, she loved her people. And it was hard, you know, not to make a bond with somebody that kind of has the same type of heart that you have. When you just care so much, you kind of connect with people over that. Me and Erin are a lot alike in that aspect.
What was one of your favorite memories with her?
Oh my gosh, her 50th birthday party, I think it was. We were at Unity and celebrating her 50th birthday, and she had kind of been going through a lot, and we just wanted to make her feel so loved and special, like she does for so many people, did for so many people. And so General and David, oh my gosh, there were so many of the guys that just started, like, she's in the middle of the floor and they're giving her lap dances, and I'm standing behind her and I'm fanning her and she's like, girl, you're such a good fluffer. And I was like, what? Like, me that lives in my little bubble, I was like, wait, what's that? And I had to go look, and now I know. And she just, it was just so funny, and just the smile on her face when just kind of all eyes on her for, you know, the dance and her birthday, and it just made her feel so special, and you could tell that it just really touched her heart, and she deserved that so much, and that's the type of love that she deserved, because that was definitely what she put out into the world.
Man, Erin, that was like my little road dog. Like anytime I see her, hey baby, what's up? What's up? You know, and it was always like a what's up type thing, and we always were like, I mean, you have pictures with us together and stuff, and it was always like, what's up? But the very first time I met Erin, we didn't even know each other. We had seen and talked to each other in the group, but when we met face to face, it was like we knew each other. We just started chit-chatting and talking. It was like, what's up? What's up? And then I remember she came to a party at Encore, and we took a picture together. And it was like, we didn't have many pictures together, so whenever she passed and I was looking for pictures, I was just like, damn, I can't find anything. And then when they dropped one, it had me in it with her, and it was just like, and as soon as I saw that picture, I remembered that night, because we were on that what's up type shit that night. And if I'm not mistaken, her and Angelica were sitting in the same exact booth in that area, and I gave them both a lap dance that night. I remember that shit. I remember that, and it was like, wow. Okay, you know, I still got the college and stuff, but you know, that was just how we were. You know, it was like most people would look at that and they might frown, give a chagrin, or be like, feel some type of way, but like, that's just who we were. That's who we are. We're the family. So like, that right there, just that memory alone of both of them, you know, I have to forever cherish that, because I know that I won't have that again here, but in another life I will with them. Please believe it. I wouldn't feel right if, we didn't give these people a shout out and do a dedication to these people as well. It's far too many, far too soon. And when you see things like that, it should reiterate in everyone's brain and in their hearts to love on your people. Nobody's promised tomorrow. Hell, nobody's promised the next 30 minutes in life. So if you got people in your life that you care about, let them know. Show them. You don't even have to tell them, just show them. Because you might turn around and end up here. You don't want to go on with the rest of your life. What if we had, why didn't I have one? I should have said, I wish I would have. In a way, just, you don't want to take, you don't want to have any regrets. So, take the time out of life, even if it's just like 10, 15 seconds of your day. And if somebody crosses your mind or runs just a quick little memory of them, hey, reach out to them. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, you crossed my mind. I was thinking, make sure you was okay. Don't cost you a thing. But to all three of them, Angelica, I hate that I didn't get to cook you that dinner. I told you I was gonna cook you a nice ass dinner for looking out. I hate I never got a chance to do that. But we will. We will. General, keep the dance floor warm for me. I'm coming. When I get there, it's dance battle time. There's no running, because you won't have anywhere to hide. It's open space and beautiful, peaceful. So we're gonna jam. Aaron, it's what's up. Once again, when I see you. Once I see you, what's up? And it's gonna, all three of you know that when we see each other